So we start this contest. It's Porter versus Charman in the ruck. So the two young guns will bang and crash. Black is all wrapped up, and as is so often in the game these days, a secondary bounce. Remembering Brisbane tonight, no Lynch, no Brown. They've only got 5 days to recover to Brisbane, taking on Collingwood next Thursday at the Gabba. What a match that's going to be, the grand final replay. Now Brisbane get first touch. It's Martin Pike who kicks a high ball inside 50. White has it punched away. Harvey to Makepeace along the boundary line. There's Motlop. Does well to keep it in play to Clayton. Great tackle by Lappin. Play on. McGrath. Now Lappin again. Did well to get it to Scott. Threw it over the head. Got away with it. Clayton. Scrubby old kick. Chris Scott will get there first. Run down by Harding. Play on again, says the up. McGrath's got the free. Held when not in possession. And there's some respite for the Lions, but the Kangaroos looking pretty switched on early, as they should be.
Funny looking kick from McGrath, but it's okay for Ackermanis. Always knew where Brad Scott was. Free kick. And it's going to come back to Ackermanis.
He was clever there, Ackermanis. Get that quick, slick handball away. Going inboard now.
And McGrath's running away from Harding, but he decides not to keep going. Darryl White, as we mentioned, playing up forward. Porter playing the loose man in defence. He's going the other side of the ground, though, to Porter's direct opponent, Charman, who really gives it a fair whack towards full forward. Rouge pushing back. Bairds so good at helping out his teammates. Pike wandering forward, and the ball over the line.
Well, it's just the first minute or so of the game, but the Kangaroos, they're certainly putting the pressure on. Their tackle has been good. Their bumps have been strong, so they're well and truly revved up.
Daniel Bradshaw with the key forward post tonight, of course, for the Lions. Charman, it's a vacant square. Clever play, touched just on the line. Shannon Watt saving the day. So the first behind the first score of the match for the Lions.
He can actually be pretty dangerous around goals. Charman, can't he, Rod? Seen him kick a couple of nice goals.
Yes, he's more than just a ruckman. And the good thing about him is that he's so young. He won't be at his prime for another 4 or 5 years.
Anthony Stevens, he's got plenty of time. He's dropped the footy here, but he's got plenty of time to butter up. But the kick's a shocker. So in the end, he did put himself under pressure. To Voss. Voss to Black. Oh, this is going to hurt the Roos. Carousel's taken the mark. Well, he had plenty of time to recover, Stevens, from that bad bounce, but he panicked with the kick, didn't he?
Well, it was a poor kick, and we see the lethal left hand of Michael Voss. He would have hand passed that ball about 20 metres, just off one step, bang. And we just see this kick, disappointing kick by Anthony Stevens. And you do that against this side, and you generally pay a hefty price.
So Blake Carosella playing his second game for his new team. Hasn't had much effect yet, but he loves a goal. And he's hit the woodwork. So 2 behinds to the Lions early in this first quarter in this round 3 clash.
So good zone out, putting the pressure on Troy Makepeace to bring it back in for the Kangaroos. And the umpire will now say, bring it in, which he does. Very precise. Harvey, who travels far and wide to win his possessions around the ground. And we saw this last week a few times when the Kangaroos did stutter their way out of defence. Most of the day they were fantastic running out of defence. Porter the target. Good work here on the wing for the Kangaroos. Well wrapped up though, Stevens. And so the Lions and the Roos not giving much space to each other so far. We talked about Ashcroft starting on the bench.
Yeah, Bo McDonald there. And just seeing picture, number 20 for the Lions, Simon Black. He's up against Robbins. Robbins will run with him every step of the way.
She lightning hands from Power, but the Roos went out. Simpson from the Harvey handball. Up to the wing, Lepic in front. Did well, because it looked like he was going to get a cruel bounce. Ackermanis falling on his rear. Sinclair, who was dominant last week. Again creative for the Kangaroos. Shannon Motlop, Morell's away. Should get it. And does.
Well, the beauty was the length of the kick, Anthony. It was just a long, lovely long left foot kick. Chris Scott was in front of his opponent, but the kick was just too good. And we see Ackermanis slipping here at Telstra Dome, and just Sinclair wrapping up. But the Motlop kick, it was a beauty, and not much that Chris Scott could do. He was in that front spot, and the extra 10 metres on the carry to the big man made all the difference.
Don't get started on Telstra Dome. Wallsy corners will be right at you. Here's Morell, big kick, and he steers it through. Opening goal of the night to Digby Morell.
Well, first time they put the ball into their forward 50 and they've got the ultimate result. Bit of a slip there by Akamanis, but it was the kick. It was a beauty. Just been impressed with Morel and Petrie. Now they'll get regular games this year. You know, there's no Carey in the side, and Dean Laidley, he'll persist with these young fellas.
So the man with the movie star name gets the first for the evening. And the Roos are away.
What sort of movies?
Yes. Porter to centre. I'm not touching that one. To centre half forward, but a solid mark taken in defence by Notting. The kick's pretty ordinary. Power has been in good touch early, gathers. Short. Scott puts it to the 50. Oh, Carousella almost. But Motlop's up to the challenge. Did well. Sweeping handball to Harvey. Now Simpson on the left to half forward, looking for Grant. Gets nudged under the ball by Johnson, who gave away the free kick. Probably didn't need to push him in the end. And good try, Shannon, but go back and kick over your mark.
Well, just a hand in the back, and that was enough for the umpire.
So Grant's off. Puts it inside 50. Underneath it is Brown. Now Akamanis gets the crumbs. Pike cleverly to Black to Lappin, and a couple of champs combined. Lappin now to half forward. Good spot up. Finds Charman. Charman. Short. White. Good running. And Darryl White has been rewarded with a mark. He's going to be kicking from about 49 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
First two games of the season, Darryl White started in defence. Such as his versatility, he can go forward, just gives it off.
He looks for Bradshaw and doesn't let him down. So Bradshaw in the pocket.
May have just thought it was beyond him, Darryl. And we can see what he's got touch on his opponent, and the little block there by Sean Hart, just enough. That's what they're calling a screen now in modern day footy. I guess it's a basketball term, but just enough to get in the way of a defender.
5 goals so far this season for Daniel Bradshaw. 3 behinds this evening for the Lions. 1 goal plays, 3 behinds. 7.5 ticked over in this first quarter.
It's going to be an issue in footy, I reckon, the block, Wolsey, as time goes on.
We'll have a look at it here. Just watch Sean Hart come into picture.
We'll get back to it.
We'll have a look at it a little bit later on, but just good team play.
Question of whether it's legal or not, though, Wolsey. We can debate that later.
Yeah, the Magpies do it extremely well. I think most part it is legal.
Roos do it as well. Nicely, the ball over the line and out of bounds.
Just have a look here, and Sean Hart just does enough to make Shannon Watt take a side step, and it enables Bradshaw to free up and take that mark uncontested.
I think there's no question that one was legal. There was no contact at all, was there, really? Porter towards the line. Simpson, Sinclair. Well done again, Porter. Just kept pushing and shrugging forward on Brown. He does love to throw his weight around, but that just a little overzealous that time, and given away the free. McGrath. Here's the replay. Just the hands and the shoulder. White from the side. Good read on it. Colbert, who was great last week. Charman, designed for Pike, who did well. Motlop, big job there, and Carousella gave away the free kick. So Blake Carousella will feel a little better. He's a couple of touches early. Did miss the last one, as we saw when he hit the post. Power breaking into the pocket, but Carousella goes centrally. Streaming out of defence. That's a great effort from Stevens to get a fist on the ball to stop Brad Scott. And Stevens goes for the boundary line, or Shannon Grant, who's outnumbered here 2-on-1. It'll work in Chris Johnson's favour as the Lions go forward. And Brad Scott now takes it. He looks up. He's got Voss at centre half forward. Pikes switching around. Brown coming out of the forward line to try and help out. Players are covering a lot of territory, Wolsey, here, aren't they? Yeah,
they're switching the ball, and they just don't want to kick it long to a contest situation, the line. So you see again, they don't want to put it in long. The Kangaroos have got the numbers back. That's the worry for Brisbane.
Scott goes in long. Colbert helping out.
They just had the extra numbers there, and Lee Colbert very good to cut across, as Stevens was a minute earlier. And now he'll hang on to it because he hasn't got much of a tall target in front of him. His teammates are saying, get the switch across to Baird.
And they've done just that. So Baird in the back pocket on the Dockland side of the ground. Unsure what to do. Not much to kick to. Now he finds a loose player, and it's Shannon Motlop who goes straight up the middle. Away he goes, his target's Rocker. Good courageous mark, Leppich stood his ground. Didn't know what was coming. Taking the mark at half back. Into the middle. Now here's a chance. It's Notting. He pumps it long. Wobbly sort of kick. It's into the pocket. Carousella will get there first. That's a throw in.
Just the Brisbane forward line hasn't had a chance to settle. We see Michael Voss in picture. He's played most of this first quarter in the forward 50. I think he'll spend a lot of time in the forward line. In the absence of Brown and Lynch, he'll be more or less a permanent forward tonight.
And here he is getting a chance, Michael Voss. They'll be quick to swarm onto him, no doubt. Accosted by 2 or 3 Kangaroos. And we're almost at the halfway stage of the opening term, and only the 1 goal, rather.
Yeah, Brisbane certainly haven't got their game going, and that's full credit to the Kangaroos.
Shannon Watt watching Bradshaw just to the right of screen. If it does go into the square, Charman trying to send it there or beyond. Voss sends it beyond. Well picked, Wolsey. Michael Voss kicks the Lions' opening goal. Watch him from the stop play there, Wolsey.
Yeah, well, what you've got to watch is Darryl White, who again just gave him enough space. Darryl White put the block, put the screen on Voss's opponent, and it just gave Voss enough of a chance to be able to pick it up and put it on the boot. And again, we look at the hit-outs, and Charman's been able to put it over Porter to this stage. Porter gets that one.
It's the Lions by 3. Here come the Kangaroos. Simpson puts it inside 50, looking for Hardy. Well spoilt by McGrath. And on his backside, manages to dish the handball off to Johnson. Robert Wall's favourite player. Not with a kick like that, though. Turnover. Motlop to Stevens. Shows some acceleration. Clever kick, actually, into space. Ackermanis gets a bad bounce. Here's a chance for Grant. Simpson under the hammer. Got the handball back. Porter, awkward kick inside 50, nevertheless effective. Scott's not happy.
Free kick was paid, not the mark.
Was it a free kick, was it?
Yep.
And Digby Morell's got it, and he's got a 50 for being demonstrative.
And that's just what Lee Matthews wouldn't want. I reckon Lee Matthews knows this is going to be a tough game for them. They are physically struggling a little bit, Brisbane. Sounds silly to say that just 3 games in, but they've had a couple of tough early matches, and they cannot afford to give goals away. And Lee Matthews would be most unhappy with his veteran there.
And Digby kicks his second. So he's still having a crack. He will not give up. I guess he can't give away another goal, can he? But
good play by Porter. You know, the big fella just saw out the corner of his eye.
So the free kick was against Scott for the way he came in.
Yeah, and you can't be face to face with an umpire and just show that sort of anger.
A bit of feeling out there tonight between Digby and Morell, who's kicked the opening 2 goals for the Roos.
Well, they'll use Chris Scott on much taller opponents. Morell much taller, as you can see.
Wonder whether Lee Matthews will take Chris Scott off or not. He won't at the moment because the ball's about to surge into attack again. Clayton in deep. Mal Michael in good position to score, but he couldn't stop the Sam. Big Sam, who kicked 6 goals last year when they met the Brisbane Lions. He hasn't been 100% fit so far this year, but he looks good with that mark.
Let's have a look at the big body of Sav. Just keeps Michael out, and then he lets the ball come onto him. That was good experience, a good leap. He leapt that fraction early and just put the block on. But it all goes back to the centre bounce where Beau McDonald tried to decapitate Porter, and it was an advantage free kick to the Kangaroos. So undisciplined football by Brisbane.
I didn't think you're allowed to play advantage free kicks out of the centre bounce, or is that only when it's too many in the square? It might be. But anyway, here's Rocker's kick. He sends it straight through. What a start by the Kangaroos. 3 straight 18. The Brisbane Lions 139.
Scott boys are cranky, Rob.
Ah, yes. Well, we've seen plenty of that, haven't we? I think they play their best football when they're fired up.
Hard backside to get around that one, isn't it?
Yeah, he did it well. Interesting matchup on the wing, Ackermanis and Jess Sinclair. Neither had a real influence on the game to this stage.
Kangaroos have won the last 3 centre clearances.
And they lead by 9 points. Black to Power, to centre half forward and beyond. Good fist away. That was excellent work by Colbert. Now Baird. Oh, his kick's been intercepted by Ackermanis. He's got a couple of shorts on. Decides, though, to give the handball to Lapham, who finds Hart too far out to score.
Yeah, Hart's playing in the forward pocket on Troy Makepeace, and I'm sure part of his job is to keep Makepeace under control, because Makepeace and Jess Sinclair have been 2 small defenders who've given the Roos plenty of run in the first couple of games of the year.
Hart concedes some ground and finds Brad Scott.
The Kangaroos have got about 15 players in the defensive 50. They've got the flood back going. That's why Brad Scott's just hesitating. He can't find anybody in any space.
Now he just pops it up and hopes for the best. Bradshaw from behind. In front is Porter. It's like a piece of soap at the moment. Now White got the handball out. Hart, by himself in the goal square. He was there for a month of Sundays. Voss, the easiest goal to ever kick.
Well, it was, and it's Sean Hart on that left foot. He put it to the top of the goal square. In fact, it went a little bit further than that, and that is a bonus goal for Brisbane, because Voss should never have been left alone. Voss is alternating between forward pocket, if you like, and in the midfield, but Darryl White shoots that handball to Hart, and you just see Voss is 10 metres in the clear.
Not the sort of player you want to leave alone.
I was watching that off the ball at that, and Voss was on, with Robbins was on Voss. He just left him and went to the contest, and Voss all on his own. So 3 straight the Kangaroos, and the Brisbane Lions 2-3-15. McDonald trying to make an impact. Simpson with the releasing handball, but it's tough to win kicks out there at the moment.
Gee, they're throwing their team around Brisbane. Ackermanis has been out on the wing. He's now in at the centre bounces. Lappin's gone to half forward. Voss has come from forward pocket into the midfield. And Darryl White and Bradshaw, the 2 key forwards.
Simpson was the 3rd man up to Shannon Motlop, who started pretty well in for his first game of the season. Michael outbodied again by Rocker. Motlop could have kicked the goal. Oh, who knows with Lee Harding? He knows this time. He's kicked the goal. And he's the sort of player who can really get his team pumped up.
And good unselfish football. They've been pretty good over the last 10 minutes out of the centre. Shannon Motlop gets it forward. The bounce, big save, clever tap, unselfish handball. And Harding able to finish off. Good team goal, that.
Back out to 9 points in favour of the Kangaroos. 24 plays 15. We've been going 18 minutes and 30 seconds in this opening term. McDonald got first hand to it. Ackermanis wrapped up by Porter. And umpire will ball it up. Main stat getters so far. Simpson's got 6. Motlop, that's Shannon Motlop, and Stevens 5 for the Roos. 4 each to McGrath, Charman, Pike, and Brad Scott for the Lions. Once again, McDonald got a fist on it. Quick kick out of the pack by Black. Shannon Motlop holds them up. In the end, it spills to Makepeace. The left foot kick around the corners, clever to Clayton. On the Docklands wing. 20 disposals last week to Clayton against the Cats as he goes to the 50. Rockets the target. Sensational roving by Harding. Can he thread the goal? He can't. He pops it up into the goal square. Harvey fisted away. Well done by Power. Still in dispute. Now Harvey shows great pace. He's got it again. Great tackle laid. Beautiful tackle by Johnson. They have a wrestle off the ball. And now the umpires come in. And it's a free kick to Johnson.
Gee, Lee Harding's roving off the front of the pack was as good as you'll ever see.
Gee, there's some pace out there, isn't there? It's so electrifying to watch. Scott of the Chris variety goes searching for Pike, and it was a great kick in the end. And now Ackermanis. So the Lions have brought it down the wing. Bradshaw makes his lead, but cutting it off was Du Petrie, who's on the ground now.
They're desperate, aren't they, the Kangas? You know, they're helping each other, and just those little things there, like a deflection, the fist. He covered a lot of ground to get back there, Petrie, to intercept.
Just on the ground last week, he and Big Porter rotated with the rucking duels. Colbert. Oh, it's dangerous. And Darryl White was the man who got boot to ball and got one back for the Lions. Then suddenly, after a stalemate at the start, the doors have opened, and some goals for both sides. 4 for the Roos and 3 for the Brisbane Lions. The margin back to 3 points.
Yeah, Lee Colbert playing on Darryl White, and he goes to ground, Colbert, and once he hits the deck, it just enables White to have a soccer kick at it, and he's pretty skillful, Darryl White. Have a look at this. Well done. Just sneaked in. That'll do his confidence the world of good, because he struggled a bit in the early part of the season.
Roos by 3 points. Petrie against McDonald. Lappin over the top, looking for Scott, who overran it. Now Brad has another crack, but his handle is cleverly smothered by Daniel Harris. It spills to Grant. Off the ball, gee. High tackle. I only saw the aftermath, but the man that copped it was Ackermanis, and also down behind play is Daniel Motlop. Looks like he might have done a shoulder.
Yep, he's in trouble. Brisbane
have possession. It's Chris Johnson. Says, I'm going to go short. He does just that and finds Bradshaw.
Gee, Voss is a target.
He's kicked 2 already, Voss. Too strong.
Yeah, John Baird, as soon as he took his eyes off the ball, John Baird, he was in trouble, and it was just a clever kick by Bradshaw to set it up.
This is what happened off the ball, Rob.
Yeah, Ackermanis hit there. Don't know what happened to Motlop. He wasn't struck. But here we see Bradshaw just pop it up. Voss was running backwards, and as soon as Baird took his eyes off the ball, he was in trouble.
And just to behind to Voss. We might go down to Gerard Waitley. Gerard, did you see what happened? You were down at boundary level?
Yeah, just in the collision, Motlop just injured the right shoulder, which the fear at first is that it might be popped out, and just the way they're using the jumper as a sling, I'd suggest it might be dislocated at this stage, but the doctor's just assessing him at the moment.
That'd be tragic, because he started the year so well, only played a handful of games.
David King just on the ground for the Kangaroos.
He replaced Colbert.
Yeah, so they're obviously not happy with their defensive structure, with the Lions perhaps going a bit shorter up forward. David King kicked 2 goals in his 200th game last week, but other than that was pretty quiet. Oh, they're trying to kick it to Michael Voss at the moment. Brown was the flyer. Created the contest at least, and the ball over and out. So the Roos leading by 2 in the opening term. Brisbane coming into the game. Oh, there's Motlop. Brisbane coming into the game without 2 of their key forwards. Lynch and Jonathan Brown both not playing. And we expected a fierce contest, and we're certainly getting one. Digby Morrell kicking 2 goals for the Kangaroos. Harding and Rocker 1 each. And for the Lions, 2 to Voss and 1 to Bradshaw. In fact, 1 to Darryl White. Here's Ackermanis. Around the corner. Simpson tracks it back. Gets some protection. Baird. Again, he just dwelled on the kick, waiting for someone to come, and someone did. Wells. Rocker makes his lead away to the right. He's got Brown to the left. He spots him. And the Anvil takes the mark.
And that's why Daniel Wells was keenly sought after by every AFL club. 2 steps, the vision, and bang, pinpoints, 50-metre pass.
You bagged Lee Brown a few years ago, Wolsey, when he was a young defender for Fremantle.
Thanks, Anthony. I said he was overweight with Hazelby and Pavlich, and I think history shows that the 3 of them were.
He just overdid that one a little bit.
Gary Lyon also joined in.
Yeah, I hadn't finished my sentence. You jumped in. I said, but since then he's responded. And it's interesting that Laidley's decided to use him as a forward, not a defender so far.
Yep. Well, they've got tall forwards now in Morrell and Sav and Lee Brown, so plenty of tall options up there.
Johnson brings it back in. It's the Kangaroos by 3 points. Almost pinched by Digby Morrell.
You notice that? Johnson kicked in and it didn't find his man.
Yeah.
Well, it just shows how switched on the Kangaroos are, because they know that Johnson time and again kicks it long to the boundary line, spots somebody there, but you know, Dean Laidley's got them on the job.
Black for Brisbane. As Carosella can't control it, we'll have a throw in.
I just think if they win the first quarter, the Kangaroos, and they're in front at the moment by a few points, it's a significant advantage and just something that the coach can wrap them up, because I'm sure they didn't go into the game thinking any more than the first 30 minutes.
Stevens got it to Simpson. Free kick here, advantage paid. Simpson to Motlop, to Harris. Good sidestep, but his handle's beautifully nicked by Beau McDonald. And good skills for the big man on the left foot. Hits his skipper on the chest. Voss right into the middle. Carosella's had a few touches. Looking to dish off. Clever kick to Chris Scott, who's run down the ground. Here's a chance for Brisbane. He goes to the 50 and finds his brother in Brad. Brad, short, White, just got there. And he'll line up on a slight angle, kicking for about 46, 47 metres out from goal.
Darryl White was free in that forward line for quite some time. His opponent was Lee Colbert, who's been taken from the ground. And I'm just not sure who he's got at the moment, but he's enjoying the freedom.
Well done by Beau McDonald, wasn't it?
My word, on his left foot.
White's kick one, and the Red Boots have produced another one. 2 goals to 1. Lions get their fourth. Great game of footy here at the Dome. It's the Lions 28, the Kangaroos 25, nearing quarter time.
And it's just what we spoke about, the Kangaroos being in front after the first quarter. Well, it looks like they may not be now, but good use of the ball by the Brisbane players. And Darryl White just given far too much freedom. Darryl White's opponent is John Baird.
So that last turnover proved costly for the Kangaroos. The Lions with a 3-point advantage. As we get to the last minute, Shannon Motlop, who's been terrific for the Kangaroos, involved again. Stevens, they'd love to steal the lead. Morrell with the run. In the end, he played the role of the defender. McGrath to clean up and get it safely to the boundary line. Motlop 7 possessions. There's Michael Voss.
Yeah, Michael Voss is pushed to the half-forward flank. This is his third opponent, Adam Simpson, and I think that's the best matchup. Simpson is a star, in my opinion, and he'll make Voss earn his kicks, no doubt about that.
He made his name as a tagger, didn't he, Adam Simpson? Before he started winning so much of the ball, they started tagging him.
Yes, exactly, and you know, 160-odd games up. He is one of the key players for the Kangaroos.
Best and fairest and all-Australian last year, Adam Simpson, averaging 23 disposals in his first 2 weeks of the new year.
Hart with the clearance, only as far as that man. Now Simpson looking to switch, but he had to go very short, enabling him to do so. Sinclair and some good run from David King. Good-looking kick, but just not quite enough on it to get to Shannon Grant, the intended target. Bit of a fumble from Lepich. Ackermanis there to help out. You wouldn't think there's enough time for the Lions. Siren will beat them. Another promising build-up. Enough, though, to ensure they hold the lead as we go to the first change, 4-4 to 4-1.
And that was a gutsy mark by Ackermanis across half-back. He's been on Shannon Grant the last 5 or 6 minutes, but he went back and made sure the Kangas didn't get a score with that last attack at goal. But an entertaining first quarter. Lions lead on the scoreboard, but, gee, the Kangaroos, they've been very impressive.
But starts the second quarter on the bench for the Kangaroos.
Second quarter from Telstra Dome, and the Roos get busy early. Although Motlop couldn't get a clean possession, Harris and the inevitable ball up.
Little Brent Harvey there, Anthony. He hasn't got a lot of the ball. Part of the reason is because he played pretty much as a permanent forward pocket in that first quarter. And you mentioned David King spent most of the quarter on the bench. I think Dean Laidley's making sure that those little runners have got plenty of gas in them as we get to the second half.
Here's Hart coming off half forward. Pike, nothing left on the top now on his dome. The ball at half forward. Watt. Bradshaw worked his way into it nicely. Unfortunately, the disposal not too flash. Harris good at doing that. Off to Clayton and good delivery for Shannon Grant. Brad Scott now watching Shannon Grant. At the start it was Chris Johnson. Interesting kick. It was designed for Wells, and then he just walked over the line. Now the umpire saying he's got to come back and take his kick from the mark. There's Daniel Motlop coming back on the ground. Good distance on the kick from Wells. Favoured Morel, but Mel Michael and Lepic are just so good at getting the fist to the ball, even when you think they're out of position.
And there's young Motlop coming back onto the arena there. Let's hope he... I don't think we'll see him play again tonight. Let's hope he's not too badly injured.
Petrie, Rocker from beside, Mel Michael. Scott besieged, and high tackle was the ruling from the umpire. So the Lions can get it out of defence.
And there's Charman.
It's interesting that Brisbane have chosen to play Martin Pike as virtually as a centre half forward.
And we'll have a throw in here. Charman up to 5 disposals. Another game being played tonight. It's over at Amy Stadium. It's Port Adelaide hosting the Hawks.
Low scoring game, that one.
We'll get back to that in a minute. That's tomorrow. I reckon the Dockers will win. We've got another ball up here, so
Brisbane forward line. Yeah, look at the Brisbane forward line. They've just got the one player in there. The others are up around this ruck contest, and that's Bradshaw against Watt.
Porter got the tap. Harris, good hands to Stevens, and he's away. Showing again some good speed. Now he goes inboard. It's a clever kick. Wells underneath it. Good spoiling by Johnson. There's Rocker. Brought down by Michael. Power mops up for Brisbane. Ackermanis will get there first. Sinclair hot on his hammer. Acker does well to get boot to ball. It's a high ball. Wrestling is Bradshaw. Oh, out of mid-air. That was very clever. An advantage paid. Give that as a kick and a mark. Sinclair spots up Wells, and Arusa away now. Rebound footy. Wells to half forward. Sizzling pass. Hits Harding on the chest.
Gee, there's some pace between Harding and McGrath.
Gee, I like Daniel Wells.
Up towards Morel. It wasn't fantastic delivery, but boy, he's strong at that. He's got the height advantage on Scott. Yeah, he's got the height advantage on Chris Scott. Look, Chris Scott often plays on tall forwards.
How's the scissor kick?
Yeah, this is Shannon Watt. Just gets that ball away any way you can. It was effective. But Digby Morel, he's just got a bit of height, and when the ball's delivered as well as it is here, it's pretty hard for Chris Scott. He just doubled back, and he just missed out on the reach. Makes him earn it.
Well, he kicked 2 goals 3 the first week, 2 goals 2 last week. His best ever in a game is 5. And he just lets himself down there away to the left. After all that hard work, it seems such a pity to kick it behind.
Yep. Just saying, Anthony, I like the look of Daniel Wells. I'd like the look of him more in navy blue.
Gee, you're not bad. With white horizontal white stripes?
No.
Little kick out from Johnson finds power.
Still whinging about the AFL.
Oh, no. They're playing power in defence. Luke Power, for the first few years with Brisbane, very much a forward pocket specialist. They're giving him more and more experience at playing in the midfield and as a defender.
Let's check the score now from Amy Stadium. As I said, Port playing Hawthorn tonight. And it's Hawthorn leading by a goal early in the first term. Good strong mark by Porter on centre wing. Dishes to Sinclair, who had a pretty quiet first term. Grant, it's a big ask to beat Lepic in the air. And we'll have a throw in. It looks like Chris Scott's coming off, so they've made the big change, Rob.
Yes.
That's a great string in a bow for Digby Morel, with Scott coming off and Notting coming on. Is that right, string in the bow? Doesn't make sense, does it?
Feather in the cat,
Feather in the
perhaps.
cat, that's what I meant. How am I going?
Well, they do have strings in bows, I think, don't they?
You knew where I was coming from, didn't you?
4-4 the Lions, 4-2 the Kangaroos. There's Aaron Shattuck, number 34. And Morrison, number 35. We'll see him no doubt at some stage. Petrie, you would think had the ruck experience there on Lepic. The Lions, through sheer weight of numbers, got first touch on it. Harris, who does his best work right on the bottom of the packs. Ashcroft's on the ground now. Stevens, the contemporary of Ashcroft. A lot of games between those two. Black is just sublime with his hand skills. That time, though, couldn't find a target. Motlop adjusts the sights and goes again. This time for Harding. He's got a free kick.
Yeah, well, he got caught over the shoulder. He is an exciting player, Lee Harding. We know that his goal kicking can be erratic, but this is a lovely kick. It sets him up, and McGrath from behind, arm over the shoulder, has to be a free kick.
So the Kangaroo fans collectively hold their breath.
They've got a few worries, Brisbane, because some of their defenders in McGrath and Chris Scott, who we saw, their opponents are just too good for them in the air.
We know he's a lovely long penetrating kick, and when he gets it online like he did there, he can put it right through. So the Kangaroos are back in front.
Yes, and McGrath, he'd be a little disappointed. He's really trying hard to break into this Brisbane side. Hardest team in the land to get into, and he'd be a bit disappointed with that performance. We can see Notting has gone to the back pocket, playing on Digby Morrell. Again, he's undersized.
Roos by 4 points, 7 minutes gone, second quarter. 2 to Harding, 2 to Morrell, a single to Rocker for the Roos. 2 each to Voss and White for Brisbane. Ooh, big collision between Grant and Brad Scott. They're both okay. Big soccer off the ground. It's going all the way! What a goal! David King, if you don't mind. A soccer goal. How long's it gone? What, 65 metres?
Well, it was outside the 50-metre. I think this is the longest soccer goal I've ever seen. Let's have a look at it.
It's a goal kick.
He's inside the centre square.
Oh, that will be one of the goals of the year. David Seaman, you needed him then, didn't you?
He was watching it helplessly go over his head.
Well, he's had to have kicked that ball 60 metres. You can see Lee Matthews, he's got some real worries.
Bit of angst in the Brisbane Lions coaching box. Arms folded for the coach. 10 points the margin now. Black, ever reliable out of the middle. Makepeace versus Hart. Needed a kind bounce, didn't get it. Nobody did. Opens up for the Lions and Bradshaw. Back to Ackermanis. Standing start. A response from the Lions. Goal.
Rob, that is a sign of a quality side, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it's a sign of the class of Jason Ackermanis, who from one step was able to kick it 45 metres, and certainly interchanges being made by the Brisbane side. Bradshaw picked that one up, and he popped the kick. He knew he had to pop the kick. Had he kicked through it normally, Sinclair probably would have got a smother on it, so a smart goal as well.
Very clever goal from Jason Ackermanis. Makes it a 4-point ball game. A double change, 2 off the bench for the Brisbane Lions. Morrison on. So is McDonald as Brisbane goes into attack once again. Bradshaw. Well, they've been challenged, and they've just responded with 1 goal. It might be number 2 in a matter of about 30 seconds.
And the ruck change that Lee Matthews called did the trick. McDonald getting his hand to that ball, setting Carosella up, and then a lovely pass to the leading forward.
From 51 metres, Daniel Bradshaw. 1 behind. So 2 points so far for Daniel Bradshaw. 38 plays 35 in favour of the Kangaroos. Almost 10 minutes ticked over in this second quarter.
Troy Makepeace with the job of bringing it back into play. Wobbly one, gives Lappin just a little opportunity. In the end, the Lions through Black. Motlop, who really has created some havoc. This time off half-back, combining with his captain, who goes searching for Rocker. Both men played as defenders there. Harvey, the crumbs, and the behind, I think. Gee, you would have backed Brent Harvey there.
Oh, yeah. Good spoil by Mal Michael. Ball going like a rocket to Big Sav. He was just able to get the fist on it. This little fella crumbed it to perfection. That's the Stevens pass. The desperate spoil. He had enough time to settle, and he would not be happy with that result. He knows that he would kick that 4 out of 5.
Johnson plays on to himself and now goes long looking for Lepic. Clever little tap. That's very clever football. Black spots up Morrison, who's just come on for Brisbane. Goes short. Oh, that's great football from Brisbane. And Voss directly in front. 45 metres out, he's kicked two.
Wasn't the Lepic tap over the back clever? He knew he had the numbers, Lepic, so he was just happy to flip it over the back, knowing he had 2 or 3 teammates running onto the loose ball.
Michael Voss directly in front has kicked two. And Brisbane get another. Three goals to Michael Voss. Geez, dangerous when he goes forward.
Well, let's have a look at Lepic. The long kick, flip over the back, bit of a block there by McDonald, the Brownlow medalist, to Morrison, most unselfishly across to Voss. And Michael Voss has kicked 3 goals halfway through this second quarter, and they would rely on him in the absence of Lynch and Brown to do that.
Shannon Motlop getting some instructions from the coach. The Lions, after the Kangaroos had the audacity to put their noses in front, have hit back with 2 goals. And Morrison getting them moving again out of the middle. Ackermanis was away. In the end, he uses Black. He just wanders through, but he couldn't get to the other side. Morrison trying to hold things up. Daniel Harris brings Baird into the game. He can loop it over the top if he wants to. In the end, just a little hesitant. But it gets the result he wants. Baird wandering across half-back, hoping for Petrie. Harding's waiting down if it gets to him. It might now. Morrell besieged. Power combining nicely off half-back with Notting, who's been on the ground for about 10 minutes. Voss and now Brad Scott. Couple of options for him. That was not one of them that he would have liked. Baird calls Colbert back in and wants to get things moving here. Colbert just hemmed in a little bit. Has to be sure with this disposal. They had just the one extra number. Baird, who never likes to hurry anything, gets it to half forward. Harding takes on McGrath. Could be deliberately out of bounds. The umpire says no. And it'll be a boundary throw-in.
Just before when Voss got that goal, Morrison just came on. Look at that. Great shot saying, up there for thinking, mate.
Yeah. The two ruckmen aren't in this contest. It'll be Petrie, who's at centre-half forward, against the centre-half back in Lepic.
That's actually what he said, was it, Steve? The ball inside 50. Harding again managed to win at the contest. Clayton invented a goal. Invented a goal. Wonderful improvisation from Clayton of the Kangaroos. He just has a habit of popping up, doesn't he, Clayton?
He reads the play particularly well, and he just, well, this is a torpedo. He knew what he was about to get that extra distance, give him special satisfaction being an ex-Lion of the Fitzroy variety and the Brisbane variety, and now with the Kangas.
Brisbane have turned things around out of the middle. The Kangaroos 5-1 with the centre breaks in the opening term.
I just think, Anthony, that Porter has to be given a break at these centre bounces. Maybe Petrie or Sav. He's getting killed at the moment.
Kangas by 4 points as Brisbane go back into attack. Oh, Simpson was spectacular. Couldn't hang on to it. What a mark that would have been. Now, Kangaroos have numbers at the ball. One of them is Clayton to Stevens at half back. Forced to double back to Baird. Good kick too to Wells, who takes the mark on centre wing. He wastes no time. There's 4 Kangaroos right in the middle of the ground. They can draw a ticket. Sinclair comes up with the right number to the 50. Rocker sport by Mal Michael. Ordinary handball by McDonald. Now Harris feeds out the handball to Makepeace from a standing start into the pocket. But he's put it out on the full. Here's Simpson from the side. What a mark that would have been.
How high is that?
I think just happy with the landing in the end, not to cause an injury. Darryl White may have been infringed upon, he was. So the Lions, who have been playing a very open forward line, have been playing a 4-man forward line for much of the game, will have another opportunity to surge forward.
It's interesting, Bo McDonald in the ruck. He's just running Porter all over the ground. and Porter is really labouring.
Good kick from Lappin. Spotted up Brad Scott. Too far out to score. Voss is back in the goal square. Being watched by Simpson. He gets his chance now. The strength of Michael Voss on display for all to see. Markov free kick. I thought for a moment the umpire McLaren was going to pay a free kick against Michael Voss.
What a mark.
Yeah, well, you picked it, Anthony, and we'll have a look at him here. You can see Simpson's not looking at the ball. That's always a worry. And then the long kick. Voss just keeps him under the footy, and at the last split second just pushes back and takes it as easy as you like.
He's a colossus, and he's a champion, and he's got 4 goals. And he's got his team back in front at Telstra Dome. The Lions lead by 2.
The kick sets him up, but also they gave him space. They left him 1 out against Simpson. Simpson would not have liked to be in that position. Just smart playing by the Brisbane forwards.
Is there anyone else to play on Michael Voss?
I think they've got to stick with Simpson. Taking Porter out of the ruck, long overdue, and Petrie will do the ruck work against McDonald.
Good tap by Petrie to Harris, to Clayton. Oh, put Simpson right under the pump. But Clayton did well, backed up his teammate and got it out to Sinclair. Jess Sinclair, good long kick, looking for Rocker. Michael again the spoiler. Johnson lost his feet, threw it away. Play on, says the up. Harris snaps into the pocket. Petrie get there. He did. So right on the line. This is going to be an impossible angle. Petrie. Oh, that's a good kick. And good hard running from Lee Brown, who improves the angle considerably.
He's just got to go back, settle down, and put it through. No thoughts of giving it off. And just the hit on Simpson. Blindsided by Ackermanis.
Gee, they're great entertainment value, the Lions, aren't they? We've seen some fantastic matches here at Telstra Dome. Ones I can remember against Collingwood and Essendon, particularly last year, and again tonight.
Lee Brown. Kicked 1 goal this season in his 2 games, and he makes no mistake. Goal for goal here at the Telstra Dome. Kangaroos 51, Lions 47. 18 and a half minutes gone in this second term.
Good play by Petrie to get the ball across to Brown. From that angle there, he was about a 10% chance to put it through.
(8-3 to 7-5). And the Roos are back in front. Caracella, Colbert back on the ground, out wide. Here's Harding again, and McGrath. McGrath, well, he wins this time, or does he? Goes to ground and just escapes. His disposal poor. Stevens under the hammer. He might get a free here, Anthony Stevens. Brad Scott again, just a little brazen with his tackle.
Just about buried him.
Stevens searching and hoping for 50. Accosted in the tackle. Look at that. You feel a bit for the player in that situation. King into the square, needs someone to stand up and take a grab. Petrie was the man. Oh, swing and a miss. Sav just couldn't get boot to ball.
Fresh air shot.
They kick a soccer goal from 60, but not from 1.5 metres out.
Well, have a look at this man kicking, Anthony. He's the best in the business.
Oh, really?
Having said that,
let me say this.
The Kangaroos have got a zone defence set up. They're just guarding space, making it hard for the Brisbane players to get out by themselves. And we've seen him do that a couple of times and then go long to Lepic.
Almost a one-hander to Brown. Morrell fed out the handball to Clayton. He's into the game now. Kick partially smothered by Lepic. Brad Scott, quick hands to McDonald. To the wing. Lappin with the flight of the ball takes the mark.
Again, he's got Voss 1 out on Simpson.
He's got Caracella on at half forward too. And that's a perfect kick as Lappin comes off for a break. Chris Scott comes on. but it's Caracella with the ball. Voss, he leads, and he gets away from Simpson again, and what a great kick from Caracella. Voss is tearing him apart up forward.
What he did, he cannoned into Simpson. Simpson went one way, and then Voss the other. We may not be able to pick it up. Let's have a look. You can't see it there, but he's already pushed into Simpson to get rid of him, and then he's backed back into some space.
Voss has got 4, and now he can make it 5.
What we've got, well, might be able to see it here. Just see if he pushes it. Yeah, he pushes into Simpson. Simpson's going one way, and then Voss, after the push, he's got a bit of spring back, and he's able to mark that. And you can only do that if you've got confidence in your teammates' kicking ability and that they can read the play. But we are watching the best footballer in the country.
Brett Harvey coming off under the blood rule. Got to say, Robert, it's a pleasure to be here at the moment. This is a champion of the game and just in the peak of his powers.
Well, we saw him play his 200th game last week over there in Adelaide, and many people gave him best of field. There's no doubt he's best of field at the moment. 5 goals in the first half. He just rises to the challenge every time. With the 2 key forwards out, I'm sure he would have set himself and said, well, I'll do the job for you.
Don't they have to do something, the Kangaroos? Here he comes again. We might see a ball up here. I'm not blaming Simpson, Rob, but I just wonder whether, when he on the ball, I'm sure Simpson's fine, but do you think he's the man when Voss is coming out of the square?
Well, I'm just trying to think who the options are. He played on Baird for a little while. He played on Colbert for a little while. Simpson's been his 3rd opponent.
Yeah.
What about King?
Haven't got any options for him. Here's Caracella, gets a second chance, and he almost took it. Diving mark by Colbert.
What about King?
King, maybe, yes. King would like the challenge.
That must scare you, mustn't it, as a defender when that happens?
Coaches usually go into a game with plan A, B and C. Not often you go to D, and that's what Laidley's got to find at the moment for Voss.
Chris got the spoiler. So 4.5 left in the second term. It's the Lions by 2 points. Michael Voss has 5 goals. He's got 9 disposals and 6 marks. In fact, 5 goals, 1 to Michael Voss.
And they're giving him plenty of space in that forward 50.
As you would. Ackermanis. Makepeace holds him up. Good tackle by Ackermanis. Another ball up.
You see Voss back there, and Simpson, gee, what would he be thinking? I need some help. And the other Brisbane players are keeping out of his way. And you can see Baird dropping back.
There's two blokes dropping back to help out.
White over the top. Oh, brilliant to Hart. So here we go again. Kicks a high ball. Voss in the goal square. And Kangaroos do get numbers back and concede the rush behind.
Well, they have every reason to be Voss conscious, the Roos defence.
Troy Makepeace, who put that ball back into play, he'll take it again. This will be his 4th disposal, and that's because Sean Hart's just done a really good close-down job on him.
Shannon Grant, he had no idea that Ackermanis was there. He was in his blind spot, and Makepeace had to really dig deep to get clear of Ackermanis. Important few minutes here for the Kangaroos. They're taking on a champion team, and in particular a champion player in Voss. Wells, nothing. Brilliant start here. He was outnumbered, but he won the day. And now the Lions surge forward. Perhaps a little too clever there, Black. Oh, they collide, the Lions. Black eventually releases Johnson, who started it and kept on going. Power brings his teammate Bradshaw into the play. On the overlap, Chris Scott on the wrong side, back on the right side. Bradshaw still too far out to score, turns it over. King, the specialist in this situation, puts the foot down, drives it long for Petrie. Harding waits at the front. Harding will try and get onto a handball here. Will it be 50? No, it won't.
He did it pretty well, Leppich, to hold him up.
He's got Shannon Grant away to his left. He's got King into the forward pocket, but he goes long, hoping again for Rocker. At the back, Morrell! From the side door, Digby Morrell.
The umpire did not worry about that. And when he saw him go to ground and take that diving ball, he then changed his mind. That Bradshaw, just too much handball in the end by Brisbane across half forward.
You were spot on, Wolsey. We'll hopefully see a replay of the Morel mark. Here's the kick, and he puts it through and puts the Roos back in front. So Digby Morel kicks his third goal, and the Kangaroos bravely staying in front. Let's have a look at it, Rob.
Well, let's see if he marks it. I don't think so. The umpire definitely called play on it. My eye on him. He's at the back.
He may have got
Play on, play on. He gives the play on call. I'm not going to name the umpire because I named an umpire today at the MCG, and the poor fella wasn't even there.
Wasn't John Harvey, was it? No, he's retired.
Ball up, oh, good tap. Petrie to Harvey, the Roos into attack once again. Rocker double team. Lepic the spoiler. Here's Digby Morel. Nodding. Great run down by Rocker. Play on, says the umpire. Johnson. Oh, he was almost off Shattuck, but the umpire said no, 50. Joe thought he was off. And so did Stevens.
Wouldn't be a square-up.
They don't do that.
No, of course not.
Shattuck looks for White. Good kick. White got both hands on the foot. He dropped perhaps what he should have taken. But here's a chance for Brisbane. Power. Over the top to Caracella. Doubles back, goes short, and finds Black 49 metres out from goal.
Gee, it's a great game.
It is, isn't it?
It's a terrific game. Like Brisbane, they're not too far away from their best, and the Kangaroos, well, they're in front. That's how good they're going.
Black from 52 into the goal square. McDonald flew. Shannon Grant deep in defence. Beautiful kick to Wells, and the Roos are away. He's got a handball over the top, and he decides to go sideways to Baird. Baird's in trouble. Kick smothered. Rebound football now from Brisbane as Bradshaw got it to Notting. Goes short to half forward and finds Morrison.
Geez, he's got nothing to go to at the moment.
Shane Morrison in just his fourth game for the Brisbane Lions. Replacing Jonathan Brown tonight in the selected team, or in the team named on Thursday night. Brown and Lynch both not there.
Michael Voss got his fourth opponent.
Caracella. Was that a free kick? No. Wasn't. Grant can trot out of defence. Who's the lucky man, Wolsey?
It was Watt.
Long kick from Grant. Up to the wing. If it made it to Brown, they would have been on then, the Roos. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. The Kangaroos looked like they were going at half-time ahead. The Brisbane Lions going nowhere. Ashcroft. And that will be the half-time score. And a pity for the Roos because Lee Brown, Wolsey's favourite footballer, had the footy and was about to go long.
Well, the game's got everything. It's got the crowd on their feet. They're angry with the umpires, but they'd be delighted with the players from both sides who've just given it their all. This is the best game that I've seen so far this year. Michael Voss at full forward. His opponent in the second quarter, Simpson, on the ball.
As we start this third term, and Charman smashes it forward. Quick hands by Shattuck. Back to Charman, who lost it. Now Stevens squeezes the kick out to half forward. Rocker. And to Chris Scott. Wobbles one to centre half forward. There's Colbert. Simpson. Sinclair. Up to 10 disposals now for Sinclair, but that's one of his poorer ones.
Oh, disappointing finish. When he had time to run and bounce, he should have delivered better than that.
Scott, that's a risky old kick too. So another turnover. Taking the mark is Makepeace. Short to King. He kicked that miraculous goal. He's off and running again, David King. From 50 metres, he has a ping just to the right, one behind. So it's the Roos by 4 points into the first minute of this third term.
He kicked one from that exact spot last week, David King, too, against the Cats. Johnson's going to kick to himself. Goes to half-back. Petrie with the spoil. Charman Good competition, enabled Leppitz to run onto it. And now a good duel at half-back between Brown and Voss now coming in. And a fantastically weighted kick. Was that a free kick? Yes, it was.
Well, you called the kick, Hutto, as being a fantastic kick, and it was. And several times tonight we've seen Brisbane players able to get that extra bit of distance on the kick, and it just sets the forward up. Bradshaw running back. He knows he'll either get a mark or a free kick because Shannon Watts just out positioned there because of the depth of the Voss kick.
So Bradshaw to convert here. There's his first of the night, and the Lions are back in front. Bradshaw taking the mantle tonight as the key forward in the absence of Lynch and Brown.
Off the ball.
Yeah, Ackermanis is playing pretty much in the forward pocket to start this third quarter. Jason Ackermanis in picture, playing in the forward pocket on Jess Sinclair. They've got Voss, Bradshaw and Ackermanis inside that forward 50.
Give that one to Porter at the centre bounce. Hart to Lappin. You've got so many star players, they can rotate in the middle. Pike has the football, courtesy of the Shattuck handball. Pike back inside 50. Voss attacks it, almost. Ackermanis is there, so is Black. Feeds it out. Oh, power. Brisbane, brilliant.
Ackermanis got the goal. I hope we can have a look at it. It was Ackermanis. And Ackermanis at ground level was the one who fed it out. Good play by Martin Pike. And we'll just keep our eyes on the Brownlow medalist, number 12. Dives on it. Feeds it out, keeps it alive. And they finish it off.
So Luke Power, who's been in pretty good touch in the early part of season 2003, is now up to 6 goals for the season.
Almost like the Lions' pride was just pricked a bit at half-time, and they've come out with the opening couple of goals. Suddenly they lead by 8. Very dangerous time for the Kangaroos. Porter, Charman favoured by the bounce and away. Allowed him to run and hit it hard. Carousel, another clearance for the Lions. Bradshaw, he also hits it hard. Colbert to mop up, bringing Sinclair, who branches out to the captain. Robbins running for Stevens. He ignores him. Ackermanis trying to hunt him down, but he delivers well for David King. Going to have an important role to play, these senior Roos from here. Got very close to the man on the mark. Had to kick hurriedly. Leppitz favoured Simpson with the run. Uses his leap. And kept it alive. Petrie likewise. It's still in, is it? No, it's not. And we're going to see a throw in. And
Sean Hart, the little stopper for the Brisbane Lions, playing on Brent Harvey. Harvey is a wonderful footballer. He's only had the 7 disposals tonight. Lee Matthews going with Hart to sit on him in this third quarter.
So we have a throw in right on 50 for the Kangaroos. It's Brisbane leading by 8 points. Rocker against Michael. Clayton, quick hands to Grant to make peace. From 45, it's across the face. And in the end, it missed everything. Free kick to Brisbane. Be taken by Johnson. So Chris Johnson, not a lot to kick to. That's the reason for the delay. Now he disguises the short pass, but it didn't come off. But, gee, that was some good luck there for Brisbane. Power. Stevens just couldn't hang on to it for the Kangas. Now Carousel to the wing. And the kick finds Shattuck.
Yeah, Bradshaw on the 50-metre line. Behind them is Michael Voss, 1 out on Baird.
That was well played by Watt. So we have a throw in. Kangaroos into it, beg your pardon, Brisbane Lions into attack on the Dockland side of the ground.
Darryl White in picture on the bench. He kicked 2 goals in the first quarter.
Porter got the tap to Watt, to Simpson, to half forward. Good strong lead and a solid mark to taken by Petrie.
He's just too far out to score. Morrell doubles back. So does Simpson. Goes for Morrell. Simpson almost want to get in his road. There he's taken the mark.
Pushing the back.
Free kick. Free kick to Morrell. In fact, it's Lee Harding.
And you can see McGrath, but you just watch Harding. He just runs, doubles back. And McGrath, that's the second time he's given away a free kick to his opponent on the lead. He'll learn a lot from this game.
Well, Harding tonight, been a solid contributor. He's kicked 2 goals, which is his main task. 6 possessions. Kicked 3 goals against the Lions last year. Tight kick. Gives it a good crack, but just pushes a little bit across the face. And through for a behind, and the Roos really needed a goal there. Reduces the margin, though, back to 7. As Johnson prepares to kick in again, and again it looks like
he's got his eyes on Lepic, and he's going to go short here. That's dangerous.
Soccer off the ground, done it again! David King has done it again! David Beckham, eat your heart out! Oh, well, we said it would never happen again. He's done it twice in the space of half an hour. I don't believe it.
Well, Chris Johnson, that is a disappointing kick, and that is smart football, because he knew if he took possession, Johnson would wrap him up with a tackle. Ball's free, bangs it on the boot, and he's put it through for the second time with the soccer goal.
You know what he needed to do? He needed to get the jumper and lift it over his head.
This is pretty special, what we're seeing tonight.
And that's exactly the same response we got last time from Lee Matthews.
Yeah, Lee's not impressed with it. He wouldn't be impressed with Johnson's kick-in.
neither is Robert Walls. His great man's let him down. Black out of the middle, blasting away. Colbert Voss was stalking there, and that is a great mark by Lee Colbert. He may not have heard the footsteps of Michael Voss, but he was closing then. So great relief for the Kangaroos fans as Wells drives them deep. Michael to try and spoil Rocker, who went very early. No, yeah, there was the free kick.
Yeah, and Mel Michael, this will be the first kick that he's had for the night. He's played a good game. He's been very tight, done a lot of good defensive things, but his first actual kick.
You're going to give him the 3 votes, Robert? He might be Robert Klomp again.
Well, he's heading that way. I think he'll have to do a bit more to beat Voss at this stage.
Johnson cruising out of defence. Prudent kick for Hart, combining with Lappin. It wasn't a great handball, though. Lappin turned it into one. Petrie was trying to run him down. Oh, well done. Good body work from Bradshaw. Kept it alive for Shattuck, who just hemmed in against the line. Didn't panic. Gives Notting an opportunity. Simpson, I'm sure enjoying playing on Notting rather than Michael Voss. Here's Wells again. Clayton just got rid of it. Porter, better get the brain in gear. Got the ball to the wing. Stevens, hard at the footy. Again, frees up Wells. Puts his teammate under all sorts of pressure. But Wells got dumped.
He got pushed in the back after the handball. He's an exciting player, Daniel Wells. He's just got a turn of speed that very few players have. Very quick with his handball as well. And here's the soccer star.
And it's too far out to put this one onto the ground and have a shot. That's a great kick, though. He can do it with a conventional style as well.
Well, Makepeace has been moved to the forward line. Didn't get much of the ball in the first half, playing in that back pocket.
Goes for Savroka.
Well, distance shouldn't worry Sav. He'll have to kick it at least 50 metres, but we know he can do that.
He lies 20th on the all-time list of goal kickers. 614 goals in his career. 201 games, Savroka, so he's kicked more than 3 goals on average a game.
It's a good return.
It's an amazing record, really. So many years at Collingwood. Has the propensity to miss the easy ones, but these long ones he's normally pretty good at. And the Kangaroos need it. And after that build-up, he had no hope.
With the Kangaroos, over the last year or two, they've played him further out from the goal square. Collingwood pretty much strictly a full forward. And with the Roos, they give him plenty of work in the ruck as well, and I think that's good. Now we'll see if he goes long. No, but when he goes long, he generally goes for Leppich and Charman, who are standing together about 60 out.
Doesn't seem to want to go long at the moment, Wolsey. He's not giving himself that normal 3 or 4 metres, is he?
The Kangaroos' zone defence has got them worried.
The target's Charman, but from the side, excellent mark taken by Porter. Dishes to Simpson. Simpson runs to 55. Centering kick, but underneath it is Scott. That's Chris Scott.
Chris Scott's playing on Petrie at the moment, and again, Petrie's so much taller than him.
Short to Michael. Not sure what to do with it. In the end, goes into the middle. That was a good option, and he finds Carosello. He's looking to dish it off. Play on. Bit too fancy. Fortunately, it comes off. Ackermanis kicks a high ball inside 50. Big pack fly. Fall of the ball. Well done by Watt. Now it comes out to Baird. Brown against White. Black's in the picture. Makepeace attacks it. Underground handball from Black went straight to Robbins. Now Wells. Kangaroos out of trouble. Wells into the midfield. The kick's good. He finds Simpson. Roos are off and running. Simpson to half forward. Providing the lead. Excellent pickup was Harding on the half volley to King. King 55 out. He bangs away. But not this time from David King. Exciting build-up nonetheless.
Yeah, they're up on their game, the Roos. They've got a real taste of victory here.
And they're back in front again. Johnson couldn't go long. Now he's going to go long. He spots Charman, who's just got away. Providing a target on the way out, Jamie Charman. Voss alongside him, so Voss not forward. The mistake from Charman. Lets Simpson in. Oh, and he didn't look at all. You can see the result. Mel Michael now with 2 possessions and streaming away with a bounce through the middle, brings power into the game. Watch out, Brad Scott. You could see Robbins honing in on his prey there, but he just couldn't get it.
50, isn't it?
Just about. He's been edging forward for the last couple of minutes, Leppich.
Bradshaw made a lead out of the square. Charman's pushed forward again to provide an option. Lappin's down there as well. Darryl White, all looking to make leads. Didn't like what he saw on offer. Now Chris Johnson has run down from defence, and he's going to be important here in the build-up. Kangaroos a little slack. It allowed Brisbane to have the chop out. Notting though, working hard. Hemmed in against the line. Sinclair very strong at the footy and gets it over the line. It's a 1-point ball game.
Adam Simpson in this 3rd quarter, appreciating the move off Michael Voss. He's had 6 disposals.
Didn't want to comment on that score, Stephen?
Didn't see it, Anthony.
Well, as a Hawk supporter, you wouldn't want to.
Yeah. You looked away now,
Yeah,
didn't you?
no, I did see it. No comment. Let's concentrate on this game.
And this is
Far
a beauty.
more enjoyable. It is. It's a great game. So throw in at half forward. Brisbane into attack. Get that one to Porter. Well done by Shannon Grant. Clayton. His kick went straight to Carousella. Hart. Johnson to Leppich.
Yeah, he's sneaking forward every opportunity.
He had Lappin on short. Ignored him. So Leppich, the big wind-up. Bang! It's a thumping kick. It's a beauty into the goal square. Off hands. 1 point. Well, it's all locked up here at the Telstra Dome. We've been going 15 minutes in the 3rd term, and it's 68 points apiece.
Well, all through the pre-season, the Kangaroos conceded no more than 10 goals in a game. They've conceded 10 tonight. It'd be a mighty effort not to do it again. Motlop, that must be a mark. He's going to have to come back behind the mark. He looks like he's got Petrie to the left. He goes for Shannon Grant. It was David King, in fact. They've all had their hair shaved, haven't they, in recent weeks, just about. Here's Motlop with the chance. Into the square, Rocker looming. Oh, he didn't have it, but Harding did. Three goals for Lee Harding. And he has proved very handy up forward again for the Kangaroos tonight.
Good kick by Motlop. And Sav should have marked it. Didn't matter in the end. Harding quick to turn around, and McGrath is really struggling. I think Ashcroft should be moved on to Harding. Adam Simpson in picture. He is running hot. Played really well in this 3rd term. Voss has been moved into the midfield. He's in picture, and Simon Black has gone to the goal square.
Harding's got 3. Roos lead by 1 goal as Brisbane go into attack. Oh, Clayton got a horrible bounce. Lappin, good tackle. Colbert squeezed the kick out. It was a good one. And Voss has knocked off the ball very cleverly by Makepeace, who did well to the wing. Grant, and that's off his boot. That could be on the full. Yep. Well done by the boundary umpire. He was caught a fair way behind, but he spotted it. And Brisbane who got the kick. It's a good kick too by Scott to Notting. 60 out, he winds up. It's into the goal square. Lepic still in play. Knocked over by Watt for a throw in.
Well, the move's been made. Lepic was working his way forward from the half-back line. Lee Matthews has decided to keep him in that forward line permanently. I think that's a good move. He loves a goal.
Anthony Stevens on top of the player rankings. Michael Voss number 2, so Stevens must have played some sort of game. Still inside the forward 50 for the Lions.
Stevens has 18 disposals, 4 marks, and taken the ball inside 54 times.
Well, Michael Voss has only had the 1 disposal in this 3rd term.
Just 10 for the night, Michael Voss, and the lazy 5 goals won. Porter, White helping out for the Lions. Well, Sinclair's releasing kick won't really ease the squeeze at all. They were lining up there, the Lions. Ackermanis. Oh, loose man's nodding. And he is within range as the Kangaroo defenders all stare at each other. Voss coming off the ground, and I wonder if he just hurt himself. Maybe he's just being rested, but when he was dispossessed by Makepeace down here on the boundary line, it just looked a little bit awkward for a second.
Yeah, good awareness there by Ackermanis. You just wonder if Lee Matthews has got 2 games going through his mind. This one.
Oh, that would be very dangerous.
And 1 in 5 days' time.
He would like you to hear that. Would like to hear that, would he?
I wouldn't say it to him.
Tim Notting.
Very brave, Robert Walls.
Stupid.
And looks like he's got it on line. And the Lions draw level. So Tim Notting, the man who played 22 games last year, came off the bench in the grand final and was pretty handy, is enjoying a bit more responsibility tonight. Ackermanis finding him, and Notting, since he's come on, has had plenty of the ball, in fact 11 possessions.
Yeah, well, what happens, the priority with the opposition goes on to players like Voss and Black and Ackermanis, and a bloke like Notting and Shattuck.
Let's go down to Jared Waitley.
Quarters, Michael Voss certainly brought himself off. The bench was unprepared when he came charging to the boundary line. He hasn't received any medical attention yet, though.
All right, well, if anyone can find out what's going on, it'll be Jared Waitley. We'll snoop around down there. 74 apiece. This is a great game of football. Here's Stevens leading the player rankings now. Puts it back inside the Kangaroos 50. Rocker, clever tap to Grant. To Wells, around the body, into the pocket. It'll be a throw in.
Done that a couple of times tonight, Sav. Just nice little deflection, set his teammates up. And there we see Justin Lepic, centre half forward for Brisbane. Lee Brown, his opponent.
Throw it in the pocket, Michael. Oh, gee, that was so silly. That was really silly from Mal Michael.
Yeah.
What was he thinking? He's just giving away a stupid free kick. And I think he knows it himself.
Well, Sav got in with that little bump first that threw him off balance, and then little bump here by Sav, the hip, and then Mel Michaels held on to the neck. Well done, Sav.
So Sav Rocker, he's only 25 metres out. No angle to worry about.
That's the worry when you don't have your ruckman go down and do the ruck work in the back pocket. And they've got Beau McDonald out there, but he chose not to get down and do that ruck work. It's probably going to cost them a goal.
And he's got a big run up here. But he makes no mistake. Rocker gets his second. The Roos in front by a goal. Well, goal for goal. It's been like that for most of the evening, Rob.
Oh, I think it's a terrific game. It really is a good game of footy. And, we had Voss dominate in that first half. He's gone out of it in the 3rd quarter, only had the 1 touch. And players like Harding and Sav, King have given them something up forward.
So the Kangaroos are hanging tough here.
Let's having a chat about that goal, I think.
Well, the two old Magpies.
Yes, they wouldn't have been at Victoria Park together for very long, maybe just 1 year. Stevens, Caracella, Colbert, who's been very steady at centre-half back since he's come back on the ground after getting some trouble early. Makepeace, interesting kick. Harding one-on-one, McGrath still the opponent. Harding kept his feet, as he does very well normally. Scott was trying to disguise it, and he did disguise it nicely. Got it over the line.
Gee, it would have been tough to penalise him.
It would have, yeah, definitely would have. There's the contested marks.
Well, Bo McDonald's gone down to ruck against Sav this time.
Moving Mel Michael free away to the right of this, or the left of this contest on screen. Caracella, Rocker, Johnson, and another bounce. 12-8-80 the Kangaroos. Been a very even contest all night. 4 goals for both sides in the first quarter. 5-4 in favour of the Kangaroos in the second, and 3 goals each in the third. You see David King darting in and around the contest there. Johnson trying to watch him.
Almost a free kick to Sav again. He puts his body in front of his opponents, up the other end of the ground, completely open forward line for Brisbane. Lepic is the target.
Michael over the top, the big swat. Back towards the wing. Harris hasn't had much game time. Gives it to Watt, who shows fantastic acceleration. Now pops it inside 50, out in front of Wells. Can he weave some magic? Good hands. Harding. Bradshaw's down there. To Scott, to Johnson. They're out of trouble. And they'll have a throw in.
Well, we saw Shannon Watt burst off that wing. He's been playing full-back this year. And I was told through the week that he is the quickest player on the Kangaroos list. Now, for a man of that size, that's amazing.
He showed it then, didn't he?
Well, there's a few down there to beat too, isn't there?
Well, there is. Little Harvey.
Blake Caracella.
And Harding.
Yeah, Wells and Motlop.
He's put it out on the full, so it's a free kick to the Roos.
And it goes to the man we've been talking about, Shannon Watt, who's done a fine job in defence for most of this season after taking over the mantle from Mickey Martin as the #1 full-back. King was crashing the pack, but Scott to clean up. Kangaroos with numbers. Colbert, who almost brought it down.
He's a brave player, Lee Colbert. Always stands his ground, and that's not a good sign for Lee Matthews.
Yeah, got a nasty knee in the back from David King.
One of his star playmakers. Probably got a corked behind.
Was brilliant last week too, Nigel Lappin, but tonight just 11 possessions, so he's been a bit quieter than usual.
Yeah, he's been averaging 29 a game so far.
Good work along the line. Harris, who's playing one of his best games for the Kangaroos tonight. And there's a man in all sorts of space, and guess who? Shane Clayton does well to find the space so often. Now it's a question of whether he can use it or not.
Disappointing finish.
Johnson with a relieving mark. Being held up here. Umpire says you've got to play on. Well, he always had a spare man. And that is Sean Hart, who looks up and sees plenty of one-on-one contests and one loose man, and that's Bo McDonald.
It's when they get to this position, they look up forward, and they really haven't got, you know, there's no Jonathan Brown to do the heavy hack work. Darryl White is there, but he marks it well, but he's much lighter, and you can't expect him to beat 2 or 3, whereas Brown often just gets that fist on.
So Darryl White, there's Lepic back in the square, makes his lead now. Colbert is back there trying to help out. Meantime, Lappin's made a pretty good recovery. Tests it out with a long bomb to the square. Colbert one-on-one. Down there with Shattuck. Lepic couldn't get boot to ball. Behind conceded. And again, Lee Colbert involved. Had his most possessions for over a year last week against Geelong. In fact, since he's been at the Kangaroos, his 4 best games possession-wise, all against Geelong, Lee Colbert.
Oh, well, he obviously builds himself up for it. He's a good, hard, solid player.
Jess Sinclair goes long.
Good punch back.
It was by McDonald. Black. Power loves these. Loves them. He's a dead-eye Dick. Luke Power gets his second for the quarter. And they haven't had it much up there in the last 10 minutes or so, Robert. But they've hit the lead by a point, Brisbane.
Watch the McDonald spoil. Terrific. Disciplined. Predictable. And that's the end result. That's the ruckman's goal.
The Lions are back in front. And Luke Power, who is a quality player by any measure, right up there amongst the league's elite. Kicked 52 goals a couple of seasons ago. Petrie, the new ruckman for the Kangaroos. McDonald, his opponent. Harris again in amongst it. Petrie's follow-up work was good. Carousella. Oh, he's turned it over. And here comes Shannon Grant. Here he comes all the way. Yes! For a behind. Lovely behind.
Look away handball by Blake Carousella. Disappointing. And he knows it.
Voss back on the ground. That's the bad news.
Let's have a look at it. Had to be prepared to take the hit a little bit more than he was. Just gave the ball off a little bit too early. Should have held onto it, made sure the handball hit its target, and he copped the belt himself.
I'll just clear that up. That's the bad news for the Kangaroos fans. Good news for the Lions.
Voss immediately touches the football when he comes back on to the wing. Great mark. Ryan Simpson, who's also just come back on. Clayton, short to Sinclair. Harris. They're working the ball forward. That's a good kick. Somehow, Digby Morrell found some space, and it was a beautiful kick, and he'll line up kicking from about 49 metres out on a slight angle.
And the man on the mark is Bradshaw. And Bradshaw, who was swapped with Lepage, has gone into defence, and you can see they're nowhere near tight enough on his opponent. I think they've been playing Daniel Bradshaw in the back line in a lot of these
pre-season. They did, yeah.
Pre-season games.
So Digby Morrell has kicked 3. Now he's got 4. And it is the Kangaroos by that kick. 87-81 as we near three-quarter time.
And you just see Sinclair, Morrell. Bradshaw's nowhere near tight enough on him. Costly.
So Digby Morrell's 4th goal enables the Roos to get out to a 6-point lead. Voss trying to win it single-handedly out of the middle, combining with Lappin. Here they go, fumble from Morrison. Wasn't a great tackle, was it, from Robbins? Just clumsy. And now Morrison can bring Voss back into the game again. Little side shuffle from Voss to full forward. Darryl White is the wild card there, but one at the front.
Strong mark.
Baird, Petrie, and he's got a man on if he gets it to him quickly. Simpson, he's now covered, but he can go short over the top to Lee Colbert, who's roaming loose at half-back. The Roos not hurrying, but just finding the man. Or Robbins going to be flat-footed here. McGrath gave away the free kick. Advantage could be paid to Jess Sinclair, which he'll take gleefully, but he looks up and sees nothing on offer. So he hopes for a contest at half-forward. Good scrap for the ball, a skirmish. Free kick against David King, and goes to Chris Johnson. 30 seconds in the quarter remaining for the Brisbane Lions to try and score a goal and tie things up here at Telstra Dome. They've been under pressure all night from the Kangaroos. 2 undefeated sides. Who will be the team to lose for the first time in season 2003? 10 seconds remaining. Still enough time, but they're going to have to move it very quickly from here. And in fact, the way they're going, they've got no hope. So the Kangaroos will take a lead into the last quarter. And their fans love it. And we love it because we love a contest on a Saturday night. And we are getting one, and the crowd giving it to Jason Ackermanis. Not the bashful type is our Jason.
Just reckon that it'll be just a wonderful win for them. They will give it absolutely 100%, the Kangaroos, in this final quarter. I think they're every chance.
Well, at three-quarter time, their average disposals, they're above that, the Kangaroos, so that is a very good sign. And they go on to win the game. Ackermanis has the first possession of the last quarter. Johnson coming up for disposal number 21. Kicks it to half forward. Morrison. Voss. Oh, Pike's free. He's got about 30 metres on his nearest opponent. He can run on here, Pike. 48 metres out, and Martin Pike has kicked the goal. Scores level once again. And Brisbane, from the opening bounce, meant business there.
They did, and Lepic in the goal square. We'll get an idea of that. Morrison gives it to Voss, puts it out wide to Pike. He plays on, knows he can't make the distance from there. Watch Lepic. Well done.
And again, Chris Johnson was involved in the build-up for the Lions. Scores are level at the Telstra Dome. Voss turned it over. Harvey's kick inside the 50. Desperate stuff from Morrell, but cleaned up by Bradshaw. Almost hits the roof with that kick. Pike, an eternity underneath it, did really well to take the mark. So a couple of important touches for Martin Pike early in this last quarter. Just waited the kick because he spotted the leading and darting, nodding. Gets it out to Hart. They advance on goal, the Lions. Hart took a long time. He wanted one-on-one. He wanted the man in the square, Justin Lepic, who takes the mark.
Yeah, and he just outsmarted Lee Brown. He was in the back position. Brown thought he was in front, and then he's just slipped to work in front. He's just come from behind, then the early leap. And he would love the opportunity to be the match winner for them going forward.
Well, the Lions will be in front. It's a question of by how much. And it's an even goal as Lepic puts it through. Lepic's first goal. And the Lions with the opening two salvos of the last quarter.
Notting again had a very good third quarter, and they are a lovely kicking team, this Brisbane side. And that man in picture needs to lift for the Kangaroos. He's a brilliant little footballer, but only had the 9 disposals, and most unlike him.
Here come the Lions again, just when they look challenged. They've gone bang, bang early in the last quarter. They lead by a kick. Pike's got the fresh legs, and it's been quite evident in the last quarter so far. He's done a couple of nice things. Now Hart, sweeping handball. Pike's on again here, but Morrison ignores him, and he finds Power. Luke Power on the left, into the pocket. Lepic is his target, caught behind, forced to spoil, throw in.
Chris Scott in picture there near the boundary line. He's been moved forward. He's playing on what? So two of their best defenders, Chris Scott and Lepic, now up in that forward line.
A throw in, McDonald towards goal, but we have another throw in.
So Dean Laidley challenged as a coach for the first time in the last quarter of a match so far. He started with a couple of wins after a fine Wizard Cup as well, where they made the semi-finals. Makepeace onto the wing, but poor disposal, and Chris Johnson is slicing them up across half-back.
He's playing on David King, and David King not working hard enough.
He was working hard then because he was trying to stop Sean Hart.
Well, Makepeace coming off half-back, he was restricted where he could kick it. Johnson read the play brilliantly, and David King just sat back at centre-half forward.
And here he is again using Pike this time. As we've mentioned, he's been very prominent early. It's a pretty crowded forward line. Too far to reach Lepic, you would think. Lepic makes his run now. And in the end, it's Colbert cleaning up, who's been wonderful in defence for the Kangaroos. Hesitation for Makepeace. Sinclair couldn't give it off to Brown because he was surrounded. And Simon Black, ever so coolly, ever so calmly, took the mark, gets quickly to his feet because he had a few options and he didn't use it well. And on this rare occasion, gives it up, and Simpson a chance to try and reinvigorate the Kangaroos, and they need something at the moment because they're right on the back foot.
Well, they just can't get it past the centre line.
Baird goes long. McDonald waiting behind Scott. Didn't get the kindest of bounces, but he just bullocks his way through. Sensational to Black. That is amazing stuff. Black on the right into the goal square. Scott from behind, almost a big specky. They're under the pump well and truly, the Roos. I've got a free kick here. How was that from Chris Johnson?
Well, he's had about 4-5 disposals in this final quarter, and we're only a couple of minutes in.
Flirts with danger with the kick, but Simpson was strong enough to stand up and break clear from half-back. Adam Simpson, 25 possessions. A one-on-one. They need to win some one-on-ones, the Kangaroos. Clayton, was he manhandled? Play on was the call. Morrell left it behind. Oh, terrific acting from Digby Morrell. The Logies are next month. Here comes Lappin, run down by Wells.
He's got the movie star name.
Yeah, he has. It could be a nomination as Simpson gets another possession and it's over the line. Here's the acting from Digby. Oh, throws the head back. Looks up. Oh, no dice.
McDonald got the tap. Black to Voss. Couple of champs combined. Lepic. They just flicked the switch, haven't they, Brisbane?
Well, they have.
They've sort of done what they've had to do in the first 3 quarters to make it close, and they just hit the switch and...
They've just denied the Kangas the ball. Chris Johnson, Voss, Hart and Lepic, senior players, have come to the fore.
He's about 35 out, slightly worse than a 45-degree angle, Justin Lepic, but it's no problem, and he gets his second.
I just wonder, Robert, why they would go with Brown at fullback on Lepic when Shannon Watt's been fullback all year. He's played on Lloyd and others in the pre-season.
No, I agree. I think Shannon Watt would be a much better choice. He's quick, and Lepic is fast on the lead, and you need a player at fullback who's got a bit of toe, and he's labouring there, Lee Brown. You can see David King, he's gone right down to the goal square, and Dean Laidley's told him, for goodness sake, get out of the way. Main reason, take your opponent Johnson with you, because Johnson's just killing us across that half-back line.
Stevens trying to thrust forward for the Kangaroos. Charman, and we'll get a secondary ball up, and some renovations at the other end too, because Shannon Watt has moved on to Justin Lepic at full forward. There's Charman.
Lappin in picture. He's playing in the back pocket, so he's swung his players around, Lee Matthews, from three-quarter time.
Simpson, another important touch. The Roos desperately need a goal. They need the experienced Shannon Grant to slot one from 30, and that is what he has done. And the Roos are still in it. Shannon Grant steps up to the plate, and with his 12th possession of the night, he kicks his first goal.
And we saw Simpson coming over the top, and he does that time and time again. He's the third man up and able to get that belt forward. That is a strategy, a tactic that Dennis Pagan has used for years with the Roos, and Dean Laidley continues it. It's a well set up goal.
So again in this seesawing contest, just one straight kick in it. Lions with their noses in front. Black in the clinches, not this time. Roos worked the ball to half forward. That's a gutsy mark.
He's had a tough night, this young fella, Ashley McGrath. That was well done.
Pike takes the mark at half back. Again, he's held up. Short to Hart. Disposal number 14 coming up for Hart. To half forward again, uses the ball beautifully and finds Charman. Charman over the top, Black Good hard running from the Brownlow medalist. 65 out, wheels around on the left, pumps it long. Lepic one out with White. Not this time. Off the ground almost. No, it's a rush behind. Scott did everything but kick the goal. It's a rush behind. Handy point, 7 the difference. But a long way to go in this last quarter. We're only 10 minutes in.
Sinclair, the man to bring it back. The margin is 7. Sinclair giving himself plenty of room to kick in. I'm not sure who the target was. Maybe Lee Brown Pike with the run, and from behind Charman was always in the best position to take it. And the Roos are having a lot of trouble getting it out of defence successfully.
Might even be time to give Porter a spell from the ruck. Maybe a Petrie or a Sav.
Voss sets it up. Lepic in the middle of that. He stayed down that time. Sinclair, Notting, power. And the Roos get away, for the moment at least. Stevens hemmed in against the line. Crafty kick. Been a terrific contest all night. Not quite so in Adelaide, where Port and Hawthorn are coming back though, quarters. Don't give up. 13 goals to 7 in the third quarter. Plenty of time in that game. Not as much time in this one. 7 points the margin. The Roos making a little bit counter-attack.
Shannon Grant. Kick comes off. Oh, Harvey. He's had a dirty night by his lofty standards, but he did enough to get the ball back to Motlop, and he hits Petrie on the chest at half forward.
Well, David King's down in the goal square saying, get it to me.
So Petrie about 55 metres out.
They just haven't got any height down there in the goal. If the kick drops short, they just haven't got anyone of any size, the Roos.
Rocker's on the bench.
I reckon Rocker might come on and do a little bit of ruck work. He fancies himself, Petrie. And why not? He's directly in front. He'd have to kick it about 55, 56 metres.
He's kicked 4 goals in his 2 games this season. From 55, he gives it a big roost. Easy in the end. It's a massive kick from Drew Petrie, and it's a point the difference. The Lions 100, the Kangaroos 99. 12 and a half gone final turn.
Let's have a look at the kick. Shannon Motlop in the end. I think it's Motlop who gets it. Drop mark by Harvey, and it's a lovely little chip pass. Brilliant kick.
Wonderful goal from Drew Petrie. And Lee Matthews on the phone. The margin back to 1. Porter with the tap, but Ackermanis the best chance for the takeaway. Brings Ashcroft into the game, who spent a lot of time on the pine tonight. Delivery good though. Nodding, they're on the overlap. Guess who? Michael Voss hasn't kicked a goal since half-time. Winds into one in the square. Lepic with the body work. Couldn't take the mark. Oh, they gave him a second look. Behind
David King.
Justin Lepic just off line. Again, a heart attack for Baird.
Yep.
And Black thought he might have got a bit of a toenail to it. The margin is 2 points. John Baird with the footy.
Yeah, David King taken off. Ben Robbins on, and Robbins will be told to close down on Chris Johnson.
Sinclair to the wing! Dick Beaverell takes a specky!
I tell you what, he's improved out of sight.
To half forward. Makepeace can't take the fingertipper, but maintains possession.
Free kick.
Well, he handballed it, and then he was tackled. And Ackermanis doesn't like the decision.
Hey, they back themselves, the Roos. Put the ball out in front, run onto it, have a bounce. The coach obviously tells them to, take the opposition on. It's a good way to play your footy.
Makepeace into the pocket. Shannon Grant.
After 2 weeks, Morsey, that had 64 bounces. The nearest from any other team was 35.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I reckon it's a good way to play your footy. Okay, it throws the forwards out a little bit at times, but they also draw defenders and are able to get the short kick over the top or the handball.
Shannon Grant, disposal number 15 coming up for him. It's the Lions by 2 points. Puts it into the goal square. And they'll have a throw in. Now let's go back and look at that point, the rush behind to Brisbane. Did in fact Simon Black get his boot to the ball? There it is now. Gee, I reckon it was a goal.
May well have.
Throw in the forward pocket for the Kangas. Harvey has a snap. 1 point. Here's another look. So there it was. There's Baird, overran it. Well, it's all academic now. No third umpire in AFL football, thank goodness.
He's been able to do this too often tonight. Play on.
Johnson. McGrath's under pressure. Got no right foot. Turnover, is it? Motlop driven into the ground. Umpire says play on. Voss. That's a throw, surely. Umpire said no. Voss has a bounce. Takes it to centre half forward. Drills it long. Lepic attacks it. Staying down as nodding. Free kick too high. It's going to be taken by Brown. Starting to get desperate now. 9 minutes to go in the last quarter.
Double
it is
change.
the Lions by a point. Kangaroos have possession.
This is great stuff. Baird to centre half forward. Johnson at the back. Been magnificent in defence. Gets it to Pike. He can go to Hart. Ashcroft was directing traffic across half back. Spots Morrison. Morrison in the clear. Voss in the clear at half forward. The captain takes it. He's had 20 possessions tonight. He's kicked 5 goals, 1. Surely this is beyond him. He's looking to lay it off. Michael Voss in Brownlow form tonight.
What will he do? Will he have a shot? Will he set it up on top of the goal square? Or will he look for a short? And Lions supporter just doesn't know. He's going to go for it, I think.
I think he was still half in half, was he? Like you. Power. Pounces. He did well to get the hands clear. Lepic! What a touch behind.
They're coming out of everywhere tonight.
He's given him a lift, hasn't he? Oh.
Gee, was it touched? Anyway.
Well, there's a couple that there's a question mark on.
Oh, that's a solid mark taken by Petrie.
Terrific mark. He's got Morrell if he goes long. Morrell playing on Bradshaw.
So the Lions by 2 points. 18 minutes is ticked over. There's the clock on your screen. That's the countdown clock. That'll disappear with 5 minutes to go. Baird just bent down to pick it up. Not much to kick to.
Daniel Wells is free in the forward 50.
Stevens to Motlop. Shannon Motlop.
They're not panicking, are they?
True centre half forward position. Loads up with a big drop punt. It's a point. 1 point ball game. 102 plays 101. Lions in front. 18.5 minute mark in the final term.
And after tonight, the Lions have got to get themselves back together and
5
play
days.
Collingwood on Thursday.
He's been able to play on again.
Well, this time the kick was not good. And was that worth anything extra? No. Simpson takes it quickly. Nothing on offer. Got himself into trouble. Sinclair crunch. Ackermanis.
Bang.
And now the Lions can respond. Black with a little give. Brad Scott running back into trouble. Here's Ackermanis off the left. Out wide, right on the line. And McDonald making sure the boundary umpire knew that it didn't cross the line. 6.5 minutes remaining. McDonald to half forward to Black. Oh, he missed it. He misjudged it completely. Must have been the sun. Up to half forward. Scott takes the mark. Kick to kick at the moment. Switches on. And now the Lions can go. This is Bradshaw off half back. At half forward he had Pike. He's got power longer. Indulges in a couple of bounces and then goes long. He wants Lepic. Voss will be waiting down, but he can watch because Justin Lepic has done it again. Redeployed into the forward line. He's kicked 2 goals so far and lining up for number 3. And about 3 or 4 times a year, Lee Matthews. That's about all he needs to do.
And he tends to do it here at Telstra Dome, move Lepic into the forward line. Look, they had Voss do it in the first half with 5 goals and Lepic in the second half.
Kick 5 in a match last year. That was in Sydney. It was wobbly off the boot, but it's through the middle, and the Lions lead by 7. 3 goals to Justin Lepic.
All in the fourth quarter. Bradshaw coming off half-back. Bradshaw Lappin gone into defence. Lepic has gone forward. He just got the nudge on Watt just before the ball came in. He's an experienced player.
Kangaroos looking to make a double change here.
Yeah, the Kangaroos haven't got a ruckman. They haven't got a ruckman in for this bounce. It'll have to be Simpson.
Oh, Simpson against McDonald. So McDonald wins easily to Akamanis, who got caught high. So bad breakdown there by the Kangaroos. Inside 50, Lions go again. Lepic knocked off the ball. 3-on-1 contest. Morrison doing the roving. Into the goal square. And we'll have a throw in.
Communication breakdown for the Kangaroos.
And Petrie's screaming out at the bench. He was centre-half forward. He's running down. He won't be there in time for this contest.
McDonald against Brown. Coming in from the side of Simpson. And we'll have another ball up 25 metres out from the Lions' goal. 5-minute warning coming up.
Stuff of nightmares, isn't it, for a rookie coach?
Yeah.
Wolsey jumped about 1.5 foot when the 5-minute warning came on. Didn't know he still had so much spring left, but just a young man.
Lappin screaming at the umpire. What about the hold on the jumper?
So we're into the last 5 minutes, and the Lions, at the moment, look most likely to prevail. But the Roos have been at it all night, and they have kept themselves in the contest. When they've been down, they've been able to hit back. Can they do it again? Brisbane Lions, 98 marks to 74. And they've had more of the footy with kicks, but the Roos more with the handballs. 15-11 the Kangaroos, 16-12 the Brisbane Lions. Big Bo McDonald in for his first game since last year's grand final when he went down with his shoulder problems. Had it reconstructed since. Power into Voss again. Oh, Makepeace, courage. Free kick doesn't matter. Advantage paid, it had been paid. And away they go. Simpson. Time to survey all the options. The man he goes for is Digby Morrell.
Bradshaw struggling in that centre-half back position. But what can Lee Matthews do? He's got Lepic up forward, who's kicked 3 goals in this fourth quarter, and he's just running out of options. Darryl White, perhaps.
Well, 5 goals would equal his career best. Digby Morrell, who came off the rookie list. Here he is from 40. Huge kick for the Kangaroos, who was never in doubt. 1 point again. Goals 11, 107 to 16-12, 108. And Adam Simpson, he had a bit of a nightmare for a while in the second quarter, but 29 possessions.
Well, he's a star player, Adam Simpson, and he broke from the wing. They had to get a goal on that forward thrust, and they did. Morrell, strong mark, long kick, 5th goal for the game.
24 minutes gone in the last term. Brisbane lead the Kangaroos by a point. Simpson up to 29 disposals. Morrell's got 5 for the Roos. Voss 5 for Brisbane. Down it goes. Michael contests this one. Went straight to Brown, who headed for the boundary line and did it very nicely. Had nowhere else to go, really.
Gee, Lepic playing very deep on that full forward line. He's just right back on the goal line, just giving himself space to move into.
McDonald against Petrie. Michael again, the third man in, went straight to Hart. Inside 50 it goes. Voss is camped underneath it, but Makepeace, again with courage, takes the mark.
Gee, he's a good player. And there are so many players in this Kangaroos team who seem to have just improved that 10-15% from last year.
And here's another one of them. Watt to King. Kicked 2 incredible goals in this game. Waste no time. Beautiful kick. Puts it out in front of Motlop.
Oh, brilliant.
Classy stuff to Robbins. Over the top to Sinclair. From 48 metres, he bangs away. It's dropping short. And Johnson, and that's got to be 50, is it?
I think he played it up. But the Motlop tap onto his teammate was just brilliant stuff.
So Johnson in the back pocket. Possession number 28 for him. And the kick's good. Chris Scott's got it at half-back.
And here they go, the Lions. Just snookered for a while, and Scott hits the boundary. They lead by 1.
He's given a free kick.
The Brisbane.
Unbelievable
That's
free
a tough
kick.
call.
And here goes Simpson. Simpson from the pocket. Scores are level. Scores are level.
He's kicked it 35 or 40 metres.
That's a tough call by the umpire to say deliberate out of bounds. He's gained 30-35 metres pushing it forward. Sure, it went out of bounds, but it also went forward to a certain extent.
Here it is. Well, it was no different to Lee Brown down here.
Exactly.
He kicked it 35 metres.
Look at the crowd going berserk. It's 108 points apiece. We've been going 26 and a half minutes. Petrie has put it out of bounds on the full. Lions bring it back in. Chris Scott looking to switch. It's a poor kick. It's a shocking kick. Straight down the throat of Simpson. Disposal number 30. King chips it into the hole. Morrell gets there. Almost a one-hander. Stevens has a snap. It's a point. Kangaroos are in front. 27 minutes gone. Kangaroos lead by a point.
Johnson's saying down the middle. Johnson's pointing down the middle. He's saying, I'm going to kick it long down the guts.
Just about time to panic for the Lions. Johnson goes bang down the middle to Voss. Voss stands up but leaves it behind. Drew Petrie. The Kangaroos go forward again. Maybe, it's on the full.
They just cannot afford the Kangaroo he's played on.
Instantaneous response from Johnson. Finds Scott as the Lions. They've got to go. He brings in Hart. He can go along the boundary line. They're more direct. Poor kick. Baird. He'll hold it up. He will hold it up.
But his mates are saying, slow down, slow down.
Look at Dean Laidley.
Yeah.
Take the headphones off, Dean, and just yell out the window.
He's probably got to go long down the line. Just go long down the line. He's got Petrie and Morrell. And if they can't mark it, punch it out of bounds.
Well, he could have gone short to Sinclair, but he follows your instructions. Petrie, Morrell, Harvey hasn't done much tonight. Important kick. Will it bounce? No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Same spot, same channel. Let's do it all again.
Kangaroos have got to be man apiece here.
We've got no idea how much is left on the clock, but we've gone 28 and a half minutes. Johnson, he's looking for White, can't take the mark. Did well to regain the footy to Voss. Voss breaks free, handballs to Brad Scott, sweeps it over the top to Ackermanis. Here we go for Brisbane. Ackermanis puts it to the 50, looking for Morrison. He's spoiled. Robbins kept his feet. He's got it now. Handballs out to Makepeace. Makepeace hugs the boundary line, and over it goes for a throw in.
Now, was that deliberate? You couldn't give it deliberate, but they did on one of the Scott boys earlier.
Dean Laidley certainly not complaining. He may retain his unbeaten record. What a match it's been. 1 point the difference. The Kangaroos in front against the reigning premiers. Here they go. Scott to half forward. Can someone take a mark? No, they can't. Black gets the handball. Michael Voss shoots. It'll be a tie. It will be a draw. Did he kick it? Is it all clear? I'm sure he did.
It's up to the umpires.
It's a behind. It's a draw. Yes! A draw! In the most unbelievable circumstances. Mike 50,000 people, including the players and the commentators and the coaches, are lost for words.
Oh,
He did. He kicked it right on the side. There's no way the umpire could have heard it before Voss kicked it.
Yeah, I agree. Look at the